Good evening. This is Maestro Gratello with a Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite modcast. Today we have a 3v3 on Argus Desert Gate. Our first player is Captain Fisher, playing as the Lord General. This is a support commander. He has several buffing abilities for Imperial Guard units. He's also the only hero who is a squad. Starts out with some Stormtrooper retinue members, and he can be upgraded to have some other retinue members as well. His first teammate is ShowMeMagik, playing as a Space Marine Force Commander. This is a tanky melee hero, starts out with a Bolt Pistol and Chainsword, can later on get a Power Fist, Power Sword, or Thunderhammer. He can disrupt with Battlecry, buff with Battlecry, and punch vehicles. And finally on the blue team, we have Kuzenkov, playing as the Grey Knight Brocat. This is a tanky melee hero in Terminator armor, so that means he cannot be knocked down or suppressed. He's not very good for disrupting melee, since he doesn't really have any on-command disruption, but he still just has a lot of staying power, and he does have some interesting spells in Tier 2 and Tier 3. Next up, we have on the red team, first of all, Blades of Doom, playing as Sindri, Trollface, Chaos Sorcerer. This is a spellcasting hero. He can shoot long-range, damaging doom bolts. He can teleport things around, and he has some control and manipulation spells. Next up, we have Question Marks, playing as yet another Lord General. This one does have another retinue member. He's got a Sergeant, which we can see right there with the Chainsword, allows him to distribute med packs. And finally, we have Filter 001, playing as the Chaos Lord, an aggressive tanky melee hero with Terminator armor, so he cannot be knocked down or suppressed. He can use Kill the Weak, just like he did right there, to disrupt units and restore some of his health. Alright, double multi-laser turret opening for, well, it must be for Captain Fisher right here, but the Chaos Lord is being really aggressive and trying to tie up the melee unit, the guardsmen that are there to support the turrets. Man, I can't speak today. Heretics for Filter do get forced off, but the Chaos Lord is still here, damaging the turrets. Meanwhile, it looks like these guardsmen are taking fire, because here is some support from Question Marks, moving in his Sentinel, as well as his guardsmen and his Lord General. And I think, wow, so they managed to force off all of Captain Fisher's units out off the field, and they're going to manage to quickly destroy the double multi-laser turrets that Captain Fisher had set up. So a little bit unfortunate for Captain Fisher, considering he invested in those multi-laser turrets. Normally very good for locking down something like a VP, but he did get doubled, and they were able to overwhelm the multi-laser turrets. Sentinel goes for a decap on the Requisition. It's starting to get shot down by the Devastator Marines, and the Tactical Marines are approaching. But in the meantime, it looks like Filter did manage to destroy the node that had been placed on the power node right here. But they're immediately putting it back up. However, on this side, it appears that Blades of Doom did not really have the better end of things on his side. He lost a Heretic squad, and he had to recapture his own power node. So Kuzenkov actually making a very hard lane switch. Having conquered the left lane, he actually goes over for now really like a triple, because we have 3 blue team players right here. We have the Grey Knights, we have the Space Marines, we have the Guardsmen. And what are these Chaos Space Marines doing? They are way overextended. They're going to go down. Unfortunately, I wonder if that's Filter. Oh, and he lost a spot of Heretics too. He might be lagging, to be honest. I can only imagine with losses like that, especially with those Chaos Space Marines so way out of position and not retreated. Yeah, he's saying that he lagged as hell. So that's one of the unfortunate side effects of the new lag system, where the game basically continues on without you if you're lagging. Now, overall, it probably is a better system, because it really smooths out the gameplay, especially for when you just have a little bit of lag that under the old system that would result in the game like stuttering and being like a slideshow. Now it remains smooth for most players while waiting for the lagging player to catch up. So as long as you don't lag for too long, it's generally a better system. Doombolts went in, did nearly 600 damage to this Purgation squad. And power burned down by this flame attack from ShowMeMagik, so the blue team must be at an economic and power advantage. They were able to disrupt this power node from being put up at the start or as early as it could have been, and they even destroyed a power farm over here. Now the red team is moving out through the middle, and we're actually seeing pretty much both players engaging as an entire team. So Chaos Space Marines are rather out of cover, shooting at the Bro Captain right here, while the Chaos Lord goes toe-to-toe with him. Grenade launcher stormtroopers, wow, 3 squads of Inquisitorial stormtroopers with grenade launchers shooting at the Chaos Lord. And more Doom Bolts go in. We have Raptors right here with their old jetpacks. They have those old, big, bulky jetpacks. And oh my god, the grenade launcher stormtroopers are actually very, very scary, especially with the Brother Captain approaching, so that means the grenade launcher stormtroopers aren't really taking the fire. I think a little bit of a premature retreat there to just retreat all 3, because the Sorcerer got in range of them. Could have split them up, kited a little bit, kept them out on the field, gotten some support back, although the Brother Captain did go down. So he may have even done just like a panic mass retreat, and it looks like red team came out on the better end of that engagement. We have some heretics going for a decap on the natural requisition for the blue team. As long as they're here uncontested, I actually feel it would be a better use of their time if they were bashing the generators rather than the requisition point. Generally early on in the game, power is the more valuable resource than requisition. It's more towards the late game that requisition becomes more valuable than power. Anyway, Raptors moving in. I thought they might jump on the guardsmen. Actually, they will go for a jump here. Now, they've gone for a jump. Maybe the Sentinel will go for the stomp on the Raptors, and then if the Heretics can wait until the stomp goes off and then close in for melee after the stomp, which actually appears to be exactly what they did, that's actually definitely going to send Captain Fisher in retreat, because there's not a whole lot he can do about the Heretics if they get into melee when his Sentinel stomp is on cooldown. Sentinel for question marks moving around, being pretty threatening, but here is a flank by Kuzenkov. Kuzenkov is in the bottom lane, but he's just moving all the way over to this top lane. Sentinel stomps all four of Kuzenkov's squads. Unfortunately, no reaction there to split them apart and maybe only get 1 or 2 of them stomped. And over here, it actually appears the blue team is being pretty aggressive and managed to get a decap on the red team's natural VP. Shotgun scouts there need to be extremely careful, though, because we now have triple Chaos Space Marines out of Blades of Doom. Not exactly a conventional build, and a little one-dimensional, certainly a lot of ranged firepower. However, it is a very, very wreck-heavy build. Wow, Heretics losing a ton of hit points for getting hit by the special attack on the Force Commander. That is pretty much why you should not really have Heretics mess around with a Force Commander who has Battlecry active, or you need to be very careful about it. The only reason you should be doing it is if you need to control the Force Commander with Doom Blast, move the Heretics in, Doom Blast, and get them the heck away from there, because you do not want Heretics getting hit by special attacks. It's just going to take out too many of their hit points as a squad. We see 2 Tzeentch upgrades going in on Blades of Doom's Chaos Space Marines. He's got a 3rd squad, but he doesn't have the resources to get Tzeentch on that one as well. Although I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he's planning. This is going to be an extremely powerful wall of ranged fire that will pretty much demolish anything that's not a vehicle. So the blue team is pretty much going to need some kind of vehicle to deal with this, and these Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines will even do some light damage to the vehicles. Although a vehicle would still definitely be the counter to this kind of a build, especially since Blades of Doom himself has no AV whatsoever. Anyway, Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines focusing down the Bro Captain while the Sorcerer Doom Bolts the Purgation and gets into melee range with them. That's actually working out pretty well, And I like the grenade launcher heretics disrupting those Chaos Space Marines. They actually take a lot of damage. One of the other disadvantages of this build is that if you lose models, you are really going to be losing a lot of requisition. Anyway, meanwhile over here, appears Captain Fisher's taking some losses, loses 2 squads of guardsmen, 1 I did not catch, and it doesn't look like his Sentinel's going to get out of there alive either. Did he lag too, or did he just get caught in really, really bad positioning? Grey Knight's coming over to this side again, and where is Blades of Doom? Blades of Doom just in his base, so Kuzenkov always moving over to the top lane. He does have the biggest army. We actually have a, this is a heavy turret drop, and it's from Captain Fisher. However, there is some melt-a-guns from the Lord General right here, so he can actually do damage to the vehicle armor of this heavy turret. That actually appears to be exactly what he's doing. He's already got down to half health. All the stormtroopers are retreating, so now we have this turret completely unsupported and not appearing to actually do much in the time that it has been present. Does kill a few guardsmen, but wow, so unfortunately that ended up being not a very good heavy turret drop. Really did not achieve much with that particular heavy turret. Looks like red team managed to get the decap on the blue team, one of the blue team's natural power. And we're going to see the engagement in the middle. I think we do now have, yes, no, just double Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines and 1 with just Eternal War. So we had some heroes getting focused down very quickly. The Force Commander. Meanwhile, we do have an Assault Cannon Dreadnought, which is actually a very, very strong counter to the Chaos Space Marines. The Chaos Space Marines will not do substantial damage to the Dreadnought, and the Dreadnought will be able to bleed models off of those Chaos Space Marines, especially with that Assault Cannon barrage. And looks like the Blood Crusher just might go down. If this Rhino just chases it down, it should be able to get 1 more shot that would be able to finish off this Blood Crusher. It's just a little bit faster, just has to be careful about, make sure it's not going into a trap, but it manages to take it out. There are now some Plague Marines for Filter. Wow, Captain Fisher only has a single squad of Stormtroopers. So a lot of squad losses in this game. Some of them seem to be, unfortunately, due to lag. This is not a good situation for the Scouts. They are, alright, they are nearly dead. They retreat out of there, and it looks like we're going to have a big engagement go down right now. Sentinel missile launcher with crack missiles loaded, taking AV shots, but oh my, look at that assault cannon barrage. So painful. 1 squad definitely went down. I'm not even sure what, and here we have a creeping barrage. That creeping barrage, I'm guessing, was from Captain Fisher, since he has no red at this point, and it is the red team getting forced off in that engagement. So good engagement for the blue team. This assault cannon dreadnought doing some work, and a squad of heretics go down for Blades of Doom again. And the Force Commander, I think the Sorcerer was revived, but he went down again. Force Commander is level 3 now. And with that Power Fist, he's going to be very, very good at killing models. Actually gets knocked down by a Plague Marine explosion. But we have a little bit of a flank right here. Triple Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. Unfortunately, they are doing some light damage. And with 3 of them, again, they will do some light damage. Unfortunately, the Rhino's anti-infantry damage output is not very strong at the moment with the Las Cannon. The Las Cannon does have a chance to hit infantry, but a lot of the times it will also miss. If he had a heavy bolter, that would be a little bit stronger for taking out the Rhino, or taking out the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. Raptors appear to go down for Filter, but the Dreadnought is now in a huge amount of trouble. Scouts, yeah, good shotgun blast by the Scouts. Now they need to get back on repair duty. They were just repairing the Dreadnought, and then they used a shotgun blast to force off the Stormtroopers, which was a very smart idea. Scouts now in a huge amount of trouble, and they're about to get finished off. One hit point on those Scouts, and they just managed to get out of there. Very, very close call. Triple Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. Is it still? No, still just double Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines with 1 unupgraded or 1 no mark. But that's still a huge amount of ranged firepower. But again, it doesn't really do enough to vehicles. So especially the Assault Cannon Dreadnought is going to be hard countering those Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, so he really needs to make sure that he keeps the Dreadnought. Wow, Terminators already? I didn't even realize. Filter in Tier 3, and he's got Terminators already. But yeah, this Assault Cannon Dreadnought needs to keep it alive, needs to keep it supplied with repairs. Also needs to keep it out on the field, to keep it doing things. Because when it's not out on the field, those Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines are going to be very, very dominant. So ShowMeMagik might even want to consider getting a second Scout Squad, maybe even upgrading this Scout Squad to a Sergeant just for increased durability. Question Marks is moving out with his Guardsmen. He really appears to, like, just charge in. Anyway, a Melt-A-Bomb going in from his Stormtroopers, but so far no real follow-up. Oh my god, this Assault Cannon being so deadly. He's really making really, really good use of that Assault Cannon Dreadnought. But here is a Manticore Strike. Oh my god! Doing a lot of damage, and this Dreadnought I think moving a little too far forward. I don't see any real AV weapons, only the Plague Marines, and they're getting scared off, but they're going to get another shot right now, I think, or they're not going to be able to target the Dreadnought, but they haven't been forced off yet. Anyway, a Force Commander went down. Wow, very, very brazen revive attempt by the Lord General, but he does have the Commissar Retinue member, which also grants the Refractor Field. He's getting shot by a Plasma Cannon, and it's a friendly Plasma Cannon. And Captain Fisher apparently not happy about that. So many things going down. Plague Marine's nearly dead, but this Dreadnought now, unfortunately, definitely going to die. A Predator Cannon Shot finishes it off. Anyway, a attempted Holocaust by the Grey Knight Terminators. But the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines do retreat before they are lifted up into the air by that ability. Anyway, blue team looking pretty good at the moment, at least with a double cap. However, we have, this is question marks again, moving out. He's definitely got some pretty significant AV with both the Anti-Armor Kit Stormtroopers as well as the Melt-A-Gun Lord General. I'm personally a fan of the Melt-A-Gun Lord General. Generally not that common of an upgrade. I think generally the sniper rifle is preferred, and to be honest, with good reason. The sniper rifle is, especially from like a point of just pure effectiveness and like metagame standpoint, the sniper rifle probably is the better weapon choice overall for its ability. However, it is just always convenient to have an AV option on your commander. That is always going to be, almost always going to be a strong option when you can get AV on your commander. Because it means you have a cheap emergency upgrade, relatively speaking, as far as cost. And it's on a unit that you're pretty much always going to have. Anyway, Las Cannon Predator in a bit of trouble. Only one more hit from the Force Commander would have taken it down, but there was no way he was going to get it with triple Chaos Space Marines focusing him down. And it looks like Blades of Doom is content to leave one of his Chaos Space Marines without a mark. Anyway, Doombolts go in on the Devastator Marines. So is a Manticore Strike. This could be a dead Devastator Marine squad, but he does retreat it in time. Sorcerer goes down. Orbital Bombardment on the... Are these the Chaos Space Marines? Yes, they are. It appears to be all three squads of Chaos Space Marines. I don't think they're going down, though. But they definitely lost a few models. And the Las Cannon Rhino still around. Kind of like a mini Predator now, although, well, definitely not nearly as effective as a Las Cannon Predator, since the Las Cannon on the Rhino is doing less than half as much damage as a Las Cannon Predator. And then you only have the Storm Bolter, which is doing about as much as a single heavy bolter on a Predator. So, I mean, it really is like a mini Predator in terms of its weapon configuration and its role and performance. Obviously not as good as a Predator, and it shouldn't be since it's a Tier 2 unit. That doesn't cost as much. Alright, Grey Knight Terminator standing around. Maybe will they have anything to say about the demons that are capturing the victory point? They are moving in. I think they should be careful about moving in unsupported. I mean, they will win against most of these units, but you still just generally don't want to leave your Terminators unsupported. Even going for an aggressive teleport on the Chaos Terminators. Needs to be very careful, though, because the main source of damage against the Grey Knight Terminators will be the Bloodletters, and he's going for the Chaos Terminators instead, relying instead on the Disruption to slow down the Bloodletters. These Grey Knight Terminators are now in an absolutely horrendous position. I don't think he should have teleported aggressively, and Doom Blast going in, but these heretics are pretty overwhelmed. No force melee, but they might go down anyway due to the massive amount of range firepower taking them, shooting them down, and they really got executed right there. Anyway, Grey Knight Terminators, they actually managed to take out the Predators instead. However, there is one Terminator's going down, and I think the Chaos Lord has so much hit points that he may even... it's a close call, although this Grey Knight Terminator is still... yeah, he's definitely in trouble. Teleport probably still on cooldown. He's getting shot at by the Chaos Terminators. Unfortunately, not a good play to aggressively teleport the Grey Knight Terminators in with no support, and even a sync kill from the Demon Sword on the Chaos Lord. Ouch. Anyway, Land Raider Crusader call in from Kuzenkov. Going to be dropped right in the middle of an engagement. Question marks really needs to be where and move back, because he's going to start having 12 heavy bolters opening fire, unloading on his Chaos Space Marines. This is also another unit that will very, very hard counter the build from Blades of Doom. Anyway, I think a squad went down. An Imperial Abyss is happening, but unfortunately it is a complete miss. So this is a Land Raider Crusader, has Hurricane Bolters on the sponsons. That is 6 heavy bolters strapped together, as well as the twin-linked assault cannon on top, as well as the Melta gun, the multi-Melta. So massive, massive anti-infantry firepower coming out of this thing. Very, very hard counter to the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. Really, pretty much any infantry unit that does not do AV, and to be honest, probably even against infantry units that do AV, this thing is just going to be incredibly effective against. Main point of vulnerability, of course, for this is going to be vehicles that do AV, so especially something like a Las Cannon Predator is going to hard counter the Land Raider Crusader. Force Commander roaming around, teleports. What is he doing over here, though? He wants to go over and punch a generator, I think. Now, or... oh, he's going Manticore hunting. That's what he's doing. Very, very smart. He should spot the Baneblade, but the choice target, yeah, definitely the Manticore. He already used the teleport, though, so he might take too much damage from the Baneblade. Risky play, but if he pulls it off, it could be worth it. Flesh over Steel. Can he finish off the Manticore before he goes down? I think a special attack. Oh no, what's happening? Oh no, was he in range stance or something? He was shooting at the Manticore. So that was almost going to be the play of the game. Unfortunately, it ended up being rather disappointing. It was very, very nice thinking, but unfortunately not great execution. Great unclean one goes down for, I think that was for Blades of Doom. Anyway, Manticore Strike goes in. I think the Land Raider Crusader in a bit of trouble. We have a Crusader and a Redeemer. Unfortunately, both of them get countered by the Baneblade. The Baneblade nevertheless appears to be taking some damage because there is a Las Cannon Devastator right there. It needs to back up out of the Las Cannon Devastator's firing arc. And once it's out of the arc, it can actually still just do damage. We're going to have another Creeping Barrage. No, a Rocket Run. A very curious Rocket Run. Not a great use of the Rocket Run. It may have actually contributed to finishing off the Rhino, but the Rocket Run, generally not a very powerful AV nuke. It does do AV damage, but just not a whole lot, and generally it can be dodged, and usually not really worth it considering the anti-infantry potential. But the Force Commander is back, better than ever, and derping again. He must be in range stance. This is, I mean, unfortunately, whenever it looks like he's about to make an awesome play with the Force Commander, yeah, definitely in range stance, and that could just be like an accidental keyboard stroke. May have just accidentally pressed the button to switch firing stances. Anyway, Terminators not even being part of the engagement, just deciding to bash power. Heretics, I don't even know what they're doing. I wonder if we might even have the Chaos Lord go for the Manticore, and he can actually do that with the Lightning Claws. However, there's just way too much range firepower coming out of all these Imperial Guard units. How many Kashrkins? Okay, just one Kashrkin, but 2 Stormtroopers, and they're pretty powerful as well. Baneblade, meanwhile, still alive and able to tell the tale. Plasma Cannon Devastator very nicely preventing the cap by question marks on his own natural VP. So we've got both the Crusader and the Redeemer. Crusader exclusive to the Grey Knights, Redeemer exclusive to the Space Marines. Redeemer with the dual flame, with the sponsored mounted Flamestorm cannons instead of the Hurricane Bolters. So more close range. It does also have the Frag Assault ability. So I guess that's its main perk over the Land Raider Crusader. But we have both the Phobos as well as the Baneblade moving back out. Those things are definitely going to hard counter both the Crusader and the Redeemer. Have to watch out for Manticore strikes, as well as las cannons. Oh my God, so many models dying right there though. So Land Raider Crusader now in quite a bit of trouble. Las cannon is getting reinforcements. So yeah, the las cannon Devastator really needs to stay out on the field, because that is going to be what's going to slow down the approach of the Land Raider Phobos as well as the Baneblade. This Crusader just barely hanging on to dear life, just moving back to base. What other vehicles do we have coming out right here? A las cannon Predator. And a lot of retreating. I think a little too much retreating there. Some of those squads did not have to retreat. These Land Raiders, yeah, they just need to keep moving back. We do have... Oh, we had an attempted heavy turret drop denied immediately. And we have double las cannon Devastators. One of them even has For the Emperor on it. Going to be doing a lot of damage. All right, the Land Raider Phobos goes down. Unfortunately, we should see a Dirge Caster right here, and yes, we do see a Dirge Caster right here, disrupting all those things. Another heavy turret. This one with the Executioner Cannon, rather curiously. Unfortunately, these heavy turret drops not doing well. Double las cannon Rhinos. Although that is definitely a source of AV, they will definitely get countered by the Land Raider Phobos. I have a feeling he's going to lose this one. All right, manages to micro it away. I don't think he just no, he doesn't just want to chase. Those las cannon Rhinos definitely have very, very limited use against the Phobos. They will definitely lose if they stay there, and then even if they pursue, they have to take the risk of still facing down the dual las cannons of the Land Raider Phobos, which are quite a bit more powerful than the Twin Link las cannon for the Rhino. So a lot of crazy stuff happening. Ooh, we have a Vindicare Assassin being pretty brazen. Now, he needs to retreat now. Yeah, he nearly got wiped trying to do that. Vindicare Assassin, he does not infiltrate actively. He only infiltrates passively when in cover, so you need to be very careful with them. Heretics went down for... must have been Filter. And this is Filter's Chaos Predator. Needs to be a little careful with it. But, man, there's so much range firepower coming out of Captain Fisher. He's now got double... He's going to have double Castrogans. He's got triple Stormtroopers. I am a little surprised that he's getting Stormtroopers when he could get Castrogans. And, I mean, he's getting the Assault Kit on them anyway, when the Castrogans would just be stronger in that role. Oh! I don't even know what that was, but something got torn apart for ShowMeMagik. Those looked like tactical Marines.
Message received.
He's got a lot. There are actually so many yellow Space Marine models down right here, as well as quite a few Guardsman models and some Grey Knight models. But yeah, I think someone recently said something about how, like, you know that things are going down when someone has a super unit as the first unit in their unit card. So Kuzenkov right now, he's got the Crusader as the first unit in his unit card, so that definitely means he's lost all 3 of his original Stormtroopers, lost his early Purgation. I'm sure he had at least 1 other unit before that. Kuzenkov also with a huge amount of resources in the bank. He could get Paladins or Grey Knight Terminators. I already know that he's already had 1 squad of Grey Knight Terminators, and he's chosen to get 2 Rhinos, which I personally think is curious. I mean, he's probably thinking in terms of ranged AV, which, I mean, it's, you know, I actually understand it. And now he's getting a Dreadnought as well. Surprised to not see him get any Paladins. Typically considered really the choice AV unit for Grey Knights, at least in the late game, and especially to deal with these very, very tough and durable AV units like Baneblades. durable and slow. Anyway, Imperial Abyss goes down, definitely killing several of Captain Fisher's squads. So at least 2 of the squads went down. Yeah, he lost, I think he actually lost both of his Kashkans. We have a creeping barrage on retreat, unfortunately too slow, and it missed everything. So red team managing to push back. They are very, very low on VEPs. If the Demolisher Cannon is not on cooldown, it needs to be used. Yes, it needs to be used right then and there on those Las Cannon Devastators. 1 Las Cannon Devastator goes down, but here we have another orbital bombardment. Baneblade needs to be very careful about not driving right into that beam. I think it's going to try to drive. No, he's standing right there. He's going to lose the Baneblade to that orbital bombardment. Very, very unnecessary. I mean, I think he could have continued driving it back and out of that beam. But he just stopped her right there in the beam, so he lost the Baneblade. Anyway, one of the Las Cannon Rhinos is still around. Las Cannon Predator is still around. Well, I don't know how long it's been around. It's level 1. Actually has a decent amount of experience. And a Plasma Cannon Grey Knight Dreadnought goes down pretty much immediately. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna say it right now. I think Kuzenkov should use the rest of his resources to actually get out some Paladins rather than the things he's been using. Paladins, he still has the Vindicare Assassin alive, so I think that should mainly be his sources of AV. ShowMeMagik still has the... No, he lost one of his Las Cannon Devastators. So he has 1 squad of Las Cannon Devastators. Alright, red team now with the double cap, 100, oh my god, look at the range firepower coming out of these triple stormtroopers. But yeah, 141 VPs to 52, but red team with the double cap, and the red team also looking very, very strong in terms of the kind of units they have out on the field right now. They've got so much armor. We've got a Lehman Russ as well as a Baneblade for question marks. We have a Nurgle Predator, a Las Cannon Predator, as well as that Phobos for Blades of Doom. Anyway, Las Cannon Predator unfortunately being shot to pieces, and he's not going to realize it in time, or yeah, well, he didn't realize it in time. And just shot to pieces by some Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, level 4 Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines for Blades of Doom. We actually lost one of those squads.
We are winning this one, sir.
And at the moment, not a whole lot is happening. We have another heavy turret being put down. This one is being put down by question marks. Captain Fisher has not really had good placement on his heavy turrets. Let's see how question marks is going to do with his. Meanwhile, here's another heavy turret, and to be honest, I think it's going to get taken out. Very, very quickly. Captain Fisher would really, really benefit from using whatever resources he has left on something else, really. Because he's gotten at least 3 heavy turrets, and all of them have gone down very, very quickly. I mean, if he had saved those resources for a Baneblade of his own, even a Lehman Russ, I think would have done better than that heavy turret. Anyway, another squad of Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines goes down. We have, well, oh my god, that nuke hurts so hard, that Imperial Abyss. But here is also another orbital bombardment. This one, it's going off right on top of the super units. No micro, not microing the super units away from the orbital bombardment. And another heavy turret from Captain Fisher.
One of our structures been destroyed.
Alright, at this point I think red team really looks like they're going to take it. They've just had the better end of the past few plays.
Requisition points in trouble.
And I mean, they still have, actually, well, they don't really have a comparable army. They have about as many units, but their units just don't compare to the units that are out on the field for the red team. We have the Phobos, we have a Baneblade, we have 2 Predators, and a Lehman Russ. Fisher and ShowMeMagik just have infantry squads. Actually, ShowMeMagik does have a Predator of his own, but this mass Rhino play from Kuzenkov, I ultimately don't really agree. So Rhinos trying to take on the Predator. Unfortunately, they really just not going to happen. So yeah, red team at this point clearly going to take this game. Double grenades go in on the Terminators. Actually do a ton of damage. Grenades actually very, very good against Terminators if you can land them. And this appears to be Kuzenkov's last stand right here. Vindicare Assassin getting shot at. ShowMeMagik calling the GG, however. I wonder if we even see the Vindicare Assassin go down by the Chaos Lord, but I think the Chaos Lord is just too slow, and the game has ended. So, certainly a lot of action, although also certainly some questionable plays. But, I hope you enjoyed it nevertheless. Have a good night.